Hi guys, welcome to the workshop. In this video we're going to be ripping the head off of this old Lister Dursley 3.6 horsepower for our project, and see if we can sort the valves out that are leaking and see if we can't get this little dinosaur to run. When I picked it up it had no exhaust or inlet manifold, so we're going to be making a couple to suit the system, and they were going to be changed anyway, so that's not a big issue. Now these motors work by controlling the amount of fuel going into the system. They're an open throat motor, in other words they have no throttle body, so it will run quite fine without anything bolted onto the exhaust and inlet ports. Little fuel filter here, looks like a modern day one that's been adapted to fit to it. There is no starter motor, but I do of course have the crank handle. So we're going to go ahead, rip the head off of this, lap in the valves if they're not too badly burnt. If they're fairly bad we'll have to recut them in, which means a trip to the workshop tomorrow. And we're going to get rid of a couple of things we don't need, like this panel here, which was part of the old auto start lighting unit that controlled the governor, and that's about it. So we're going to rip this off, or rip some covers off, and have a look inside, see what we can see. Hopefully barrel and piston are okay. I can't feel any big end slop, and hopefully it's all good inside. Alright, so I'll get to it. It still does have plenty of oil in it, so the best guess at the moment that it's not running because it's leaking past the valves and simply does not have the compression to turn it or fire the diesel up. Alright, I'll be back once I've ripped this apart and we'll have a bit of a look inside. Okay, so we've got the rocker cover off, and this thing is extremely clean inside. Also have the injector pump cover off, and you can also see it is very clean. I can clearly read the label on the injector pump, right down to seeing the casting inside the motor. There's absolutely no sludge at all on this thing. Everything is extremely clean. It even has a bit of oil on it. So good to see they've been using decent oil. One thing I did notice is the rail on the injector is a little sticky. So when I've got that out I'll strip it down and give it a good clean up. But so far looking good. We'll just continue on and rip the head off next and check out the barrel, see how that looks. Okay, so we're looking at our piston. I'll give it a quick wire buff. It's come up Mickey Mouse, all looks smick, and I can even read the writing on it. This piston here is still standard, and they even went to the trouble of putting camshaft side on it, so you put it in correctly. So when you look at things like this and you wonder how many hours this motor has done in its lifetime. Bit of history on this one. This was actually from a little town called Nannup in Western Australia, and it actually drove all the lights in their little small hospital down there. So still on the standard piston, and we do see a bit of an oil leak here, but it's not too much to worry about, which is really very little when you consider the amount of work that this machine would have done. So I'm going to go ahead and clean the head up now, and we'll have a look and see how that is. But this machine here, the only lip on there is the carbon, because I can scrape it off with my finger. This bore is absolutely beautiful. Not a thing wrong with it. not a scratch in it. So yeah, I really think sometimes we've gone backwards, and we just don't make machines like we used to anymore. They're not built to last. Even the head gaskets themselves are copper O-rings, whereas today they're all paper and crap, and you have to change them every time you rip the motor down. So a beautiful machine, these, absolutely beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and clean the head up on it now and have a good look at that, rip the valves out, because I'm thinking that's where the trouble may have been, because there's no trouble here with the piston or the ball. So we'll be back when I've done that. Okay, so we've given the head a big degrease, clean up, ripped the valves out, and the problem has become apparent. You can see the seat on the exhaust valve is fairly well toasted on that side, as it is on the valve itself. So now we're going to go ahead and cut both the valves in and see if we can clean them up just with grinding paste. If it doesn't, then I'll have to take it down to work tomorrow and recut the seats. So I'm going to go ahead, give it a try. The grinding paste, we'll come back and have a look, see if they cleaned up. If not, then tomorrow job. Nothing we can do about that. No point heading off down to the workshop at 11 o'clock at night. Alright, so I'll go ahead and I'll give them a going over with the grinding paste, see if we can get them back to nice. And that was definitely the problem, because when I was degreasing and squirting water up there, it was pouring out the between the seat and the valve, so definitely leaky, and I would say that was the only reason it discontinued to run. Alright, that's probably it for this video. Next one will come back once all the seats are cut, and we'll go ahead, put it all back together and see if it runs. Thanks for watching, guys. Alright, so the valves and seats have come up quite nice just with the grinding paste, so they weren't too bad. And we need to go and recut the seats. So just a matter of giving it all a good clean now and putting it back together, which we're going to do next, and see if it runs. So I'll come back when it's all back together, and we'll have to mount it onto some sort of frame, I guess. With the generator side of it, it's a standalone unit. It does not have the bell housing to mount the generator to the motor, so we're going to have to make up a frame and get this at the right height to hook it up to the drive coupling to the motor, make sure it's all level and true. Right, so I'll go ahead, put this all back together now, and we'll stick it back on the motor and see if our compression has improved. Okay, so obviously it runs quite well. The exhaust coming out of there even without the muffler, very quiet and hardly warm at all. Obviously not working. Next to get the generator on here and see if we can get that to work. But that's it for this video. A success, runs very nice, easy to start, and if you look at my makeshift fuel tank up here, straight away a cold start up after many years of sitting on biodiesel. So we're off to a good start. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next part of the series.